Welcome to Tarja Kennedy's Tarja Michelle Ministries. I come today giving greetings from my Lord and Savior, saying thank you, Lord. I thank you for liking and subscribing. Thank you for coming to the channel. I thank you for your comments, and I thank you for everything you do. If you do it in good intentions, I thank you for it. I just thank you for all that you do, and I just for coming through the channel. People that like me and people that want to be nosy, people that don't like me. I thank you anyway. But anyway, I just want to come on here and just say I miss y'all yesterday. I had a project I had to get out, but I just thank God that I was able to finish it. But anyway, I want to just come on and tell you, you know, we've been talking about a lot of stuff this week, and I'm pretty sure plenty of people mad at me about that. But I'm just doing what they'll say the Lord gave me to do, and I'm not mad with anybody. I don't want nobody to be mad at me. If you got a problem, you need to take it up with God. But I do want you to say, I do want to say this. I love y'all. Even if y'all mad with me, I love y'all. I care about y'all, and I want the best for y'all, and I wish y'all the best. I really do wish y'all the best. Um, I'm just here to get a messages, and and whatever God give me, that's what I speak on. It might not be what you want to hear, but it's what He give me. Okay. And I was in that stage too. That's first of all, I want to start get this off of me. I was in that stage too where I didn't want, I couldn't stand for people to talk about what I had hidden in my past, and it would bother me, and I would get upset about it. But then the Lord, as time went on, He dealt with me, and He allowed me to be flourishable with it. He allowed me to listen. He said it's something that you need to hear. It's something I need for you to do in this, in this world. And I need for you to get ready for it. So whenever you going through something, you being faced with your challenges and your how can I say it? When you getting ready to move to another level, and God, He really want to take you out of the ways that you are operating into some calmer ways or calmer waters, and do it the way He wants you to do it. Yeah, He gonna send multiple people to step on your toes to tell you, that hurt your ego. He gonna let you know that, and you gonna think they coming up against you, but they only know what God give them, and they just the messenger. So I just come on today just to encourage you to keep doing what you're doing. I know that everybody's not gonna be saved. I know I'm not gonna reach everybody. I know I'm not gonna reach everybody. I know I'm not gonna reach. Um, I might not can't reach some people. Somebody else can, and I'm fine with that, as long as I can reach one. So if I can reach one, I feel like I done did good. If I can, do what God tell me doing and just win one soul, I'll be out. That's good for me. But I just wanted to tell you, God gave me something, and I want to say this too. And I know this is what I've been picking up yesterday when I was doing my little thing. Um, those for you that's in a twin flame, and I'm gonna tell you something. Now I had to figure this out for myself too, but I'm gonna tell you something. Like we were talking about blockages this week. We was talking about blockages. We was talking about people keeping you blocked, people keeping you, stuck in, messing with your businesses and stuff like that, messing with whatever you got going on. We was talking about that, but it's it. What I want you to know, most time it's people that's right up under you that keep you, that It could be family, it could be people that you go to church with. It could be people that you've been knowing for years. It could be cousins. It could be anybody. But most of the time, it's people that you either done detached from, or people that you are attached to that are putting the blockages in your way. And some of y'all that's in these twin flames is your other half. It's your other half that's giving you these blockages because they feel like you rejected them. Now I'm telling you what the Lord told me, what I've been feeling in my spirit, and the Spirit of the Lord been giving me this. They felt like you rejected them. But how you rejected them and they ain't never talked to you? Because the Lord showed me that they ain't even never had a conversation with you. So how do you feel like you can block somebody and you ain't even had a conversation when you don't know if the person would talk to you or not. You have made the effort to even talk to the person. Now this is what God given me. This is what He gave me yesterday when I was doing my little getting ready for my other little project and stuff like that. Okay, you got to learn to resist the devil. You got to learn to walk by faith and not by sight. And when I say resist the devil, I mean when he come up to you and present something to you, you don't have to be a participant to take whatever he give you. Okay, like I'm gonna use me as an example. Years ago, when I first, before they knew I had rheumatoid arthritis, like I told you, I went through 20 years of that. Okay, they didn't know what was wrong with me. They diagnosed me with MS. I ended up in a mental place because they was giving me the wrong medicine. I didn't have MS. That's what they thought I had. But what I want to tell you is this: the enemy showed me I couldn't walk. I would get off and on spells where I couldn't walk. So the enemy was showing me a wheelchair, but I refused. I refused to believe that. And some of my sickness now, I refuse to. I know it's here, but I already I look at myself as already healed. So that's how I asked God. I talked to Him about that. Okay, because He did heal me from where I couldn't walk to where I can walk. Okay, so you gotta learn to resist the devil when he presents something to you, and it's presented to you. And it could be a sickness, it can be cancer, it can be HIV, it could be anything, and it could be just something that can make you diabetes, whatever. You don't have to accept it. You just have to get your healing stuff out, change your diet, exercise, do stuff like that that would bring this sickness off of you. Okay, but you gotta first of all resist the enemy. You have to resist the temptation that he gives you. Even if you tempted by the lust of the eye, we talk about it. Resist the temptation. You gotta learn to resist the enemy. You gotta learn to kill the flesh. That's what God is telling me. That you need to kill the flesh, let the flesh die. Because the flesh is gonna always keep you stuck and combined. So we are of flesh. Are we perfect? No. But we can resist the devil. Sometimes we fall into temptation, which we gonna do. But we can't stay in that situation. If we fall, we can get up, ask God to forgive us, and keep moving on. And we learn from that situation, and we don't go back to it. So we gotta resist the temptation. And when you resist the temptation, you resist the darkness. Okay. I told you the other day about how the enemy try to keep us down, going down back in that dungeon. I told you how he keeps us in. He want to keep us down in that dungeon, and that dungeon is a place that he want us to die. He want us to die in our sins. He want us to die in the dungeon, high off drugs, high off with a promiscuous woman, with a woman that can drag you down, or a man that can drag you down to a place that where you can barely come back up to the light. Because when I told you that story about that pastor, he was drugged down there by a woman, and when they came back to get him, he was somebody else. He was dead. So when she came back to check him, he was dead. So I'm here to tell you that God did not expect for us not to be able to resist the enemy. He want us to kill the flesh, and it's hard to do because we are fleshly people. We don't have a spiritual body, but we do have Jesus Christ. We do have the Son of God. We do have what we can ask Him to help us to resist the flesh, to resist temptation, to help us to walk forward in our pathway, so we can walk on the path that He wants us to walk on, so we can walk to the place that He needs us to go in our purpose. Okay, now when I say resist the temptation, I'm gonna use these twin flames, what I just told you. If you in a twin flame relationship and you know that, you've been called by God to be in twin flame, you got to understand when the enemy presents something to you about your kingdom partner, whoever he trying to put you, you got to understand, you got to resist that enemy. You can't be jealous of somebody that God is trying to give you. Because you self-sabotaging that. That's what I'm saying. By you got to learn to resist it. You got to learn to resist the devil. You got to learn to resist temptation. So when he tells you, okay, oh, she much better than you. Oh, she did. See that? See, I told you the last time. It starts with a thought. He puts a thought in your head. Once he put that thought in your head, then he uses what you weak with. If you weak with self confidence, if you weak with low confidence, if you weak with low self esteem, he uses that to sabotage what God is trying to do for you. So if he trying to bring something to your in your life, he is trained to come and derail you off of that path to show you that your partner or whoever God trying to put with you, I'm using this as an example, is trying to bring you where he's going because he don't want to see you do the will of God. He know that when y'all come together, you'll be powerful. So what he'll do is he will put a blockage there to make you think that that's not your mate. And see what he'll do is he'll confuse you. He'll send you back with something you're familiar with. See, you got to understand that you got to get out the familiar. You have to get out the familiar. And when you come out the familiar, you will begin to you need to explore more. And I don't mean explore like fornication and all that right there. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is you need to stop thinking, dating the women that you used to date or the men that you used to date. You need to explore something different, something. I ain't gonna tell you a church girl because everything go to church ain't real. I ain't gonna tell you that. You need to explore yourself. I mean, just spend time with yourself and you will come across somebody that is more like you. And more like you, and you'll see that person be different. Y'all will be alike, but you'll be different. So what I'm trying to say is you gotta resist the temptation of the enemy so you can get what God has, the real stuff that God has for you in life. So you won't be always stuck and stabbing with these confusion relationship with all this drama, all this stuff that's going on in your life or whatever you've been through in your life. See me, I don't have anybody because I refuse to go back to drama. I'm not going back to no drama. That's something that I had brought out of my life. I got a peace in my life. And I'm not bringing no drama back into my life. Now, that's all I'm saying about that. That I just, you know, I can't. I can't. I come too far to let somebody come back in my life with a whole bunch of drama. But what I want you to understand is you got to set boundaries. You got to set boundaries with people, and you got to resist the temptation of the enemy when he try to pull you back into these places that you don't need to be in. Okay, when I say resist the temptation, like I was saying, if he tell you something about your partner, he tell you either you ask a female, and this is where y'all women and men mess up at. Don't If you interested in a woman, don't go ask no other woman. Don't do that. If you a male, don't go ask no other woman. I'm gonna tell you why. Let me break it down. Because when you go and ask another male, another female about another woman, she may be interested in you, and if she interested in you, she gonna bash that woman down. See, me myself, when I want to know something about a man, I'm gonna go and talk to him myself. Or either I'm gonna go and feel his spirit. If his spirit don't feel right, then I'm gonna move on. That's what I'm trying to tell you. But what I'm saying is this: if you a male and you want to know something about a woman, you have to go and talk to that woman. You can't ask another man about her because you know what? That man might be interested in her. He might tell you anything. He might tell you she a slut bucket, and she might be a queen in England. You don't know. So you don't need to do that. You need to talk for yourself. Learn, and y'all women and men, learn to talk for yourself. Don't ask other people about something that God is trying to do for you. If God said, okay, I call this person to be in business with you, I call this person to be with you, you go talk to that person. You go feel that person for yourself. You asking people and they giving you something that you don't want to hear. That's why you got to resist the temptation. You got to resist the devil because the devil will bring you all kind of stuff that's not true about a person, and you'll be done cut. You'll be gunning for that person's head, and that person ain't did nothing to you. They don't have no personal agenda against you. It's just that the person that told you that was probably interested in you. So if you're a woman, you don't ever go to another female and tell her about your relationship with a man. She might be your best friend, but you need to be careful with that. Okay, if you a male, you don't never tell another male that, because I'm seeing in the spirit that some of y'all, whew, Jesus, some of y'all family members done slept with some of y'all girlfriends, some of y'all wives. I see it. God's showing it to me right now, and I'm like, Wow. That's why I say, you gotta, if you have to resist the temptation of the devil just because something look good, smell good, and glitter don't make it good. They don't mean it's good. You gotta know how to love. Your person gotta know how to love themselves first, and they gotta learn. They love from the inside. See, when you can get into a person hard, then that person will be there for you. But if you looking for the outer appearance, and you looking for the beauty of that person, which all that do matter a little bit, but it doesn't matter that much because that fades away with age. So what if you don't? If that's all you got to hold on to, and the materialistic stuff? Because see, some men and women, they only marry for money. Some are married for money. Some are married for fame and fortune. They don't marry for love. I was talking to this lady years ago. She said, "Oh, I ain't married him because I love him. I married because he can take care of me." And I'm looking like, why would you do that though? Because that man really love you, but you don't have the same agenda. She just married him so he because she could get his money. And see, that is not of God. What I'm trying to tell you, there's a lot of women that does that. They don't really want the man, and they don't want nobody else to help. They want to keep them to a convenience to them so they can use them for their money. Because most time these are the type of men that have money go get. They go and get women that don't have much. I don't ain't trying to go nowhere. But the ones that they see that's trying to go somewhere, they don't want to help them. They look down on them. That's because let me tell you why they like that. And the same thing with the women. You know why we like that as women and men? Because we try to live in familiar. We try to go back and get a woman like our husband. I mean, not husband. Like our mama had, our daddy had, our uncle said, like if we had like a uncle and he was a what they used to call it back then, a gigolo or whatever you call it, where they whole mama, put it that way. And they had every time you come to the house, they got a whole different woman. That stuff start to get in you. And you be like, oh, my uncle did it. Yeah, they ain't them hoes anyway. Every woman ain't a hoe. Every woman ain't a slut budget. So um, I'm just saying, every woman not like that. So some women take pride in themselves. Some don't. Some don't. That's just what they choose to do. They don't have to be like that, but that just because they refuse to change, and the only thing they want to do is use certain people that have a status of money and a status of power to just use them so they won't have to work. Those type of women are lazy. And they don't want to work. And most of the 9 times out of 10, most of those are on drugs. They very promiscuous. Or they got a childhood issue. Probably they've been raped, molested, or whatever. And what they do is they began to look for men to they really take it out on men and find men. Most of those women that's been if they have not been healed from that, they can't do nothing in life but be stuck because they allowed that trauma to weigh them down, to hold them in one place because they didn't know how to resist the temptation of the enemy. They didn't know how to fight their way out of that hurt that hurt that man did them. They didn't know how to fight their way out of it. So instead of fighting their way out of it, they spend 20, 30, 40 years stuck in the same place, using drugs to heal the pain, using men that beat them, using men that see. I was in a abusive relationship, um, but I was brought up around people that was abusive to their wives and their husbands. So that's what I knew, and I would not knowingly. What I did know after I dated him a while, I knew he was beating me then. See, I had no business marrying him then, but I couldn't resist the temptation of the lust of the eye. That's my point. You got to be able to resist the enemy when he comes back and he shows you something that you are familiar with. You have to be able to resist that thing from your past. Everything that's from your past, you got to be able to resist it. So when it come back to you, now I'm not saying he's not gonna bring it back to you, but what I am saying, he gonna present it to you. But what I am saying, you can't resist it once you recognize, okay, the enemy trying to bring me this. Let me let me go ahead and pray. Because I refuse to pick this back up. I ain't gonna pick this back up and stay another 40 years him. I ain't got but about 20, 30 more left. So that's why you have to resist the enemy. Resist the temptation. And that's how we move forward. When we think about how we can we think about how he would present us stuff. And most time, what I'm gonna tell you something. Most time, what the enemy gonna present you, he gonna present you something that you familiar with. See, when God try to push you out there and show you something different, that's what you scared of. You scared to move forward because you've been stuck in this familiar place so long. You scared to explore something new. So it scares you when you think about, oh, I ain't never dated nobody like that. I ain't never been in no business like that. I don't know how to open my own business. See, that is fear. That is of the enemy. You have to resist the temptation of the enemy. You have to when that's how he gonna present it to you. He present it to you when God present. Okay, let me back up and do this right. Okay, when God presents something to you and tell you, I want you to open up your own business. First thing the enemy gonna come and do, oh, you can't do that. You can't. How you gonna do that? You ain't got no money. You ain't got the money to do that. That's what they're gonna tell you. Oh no, she ain't gonna deal with you. You know why? Because you and her ain't on the same status. That's how he gonna talk to you. You gotta learn to resist that enemy like that. When he tell you, oh no, she on a higher class than you, or he on a higher class than you. Oh no, you got to learn to resist that. Resist the temptation. And when I say resist the temptation, that means when he presented to you, when God presented to you to go move forward, and he comes about and he put a stumbling block there. That's why I talk y'all about stumbling blocks. The stumbling blocks come from the enemy. So if you dealing with people that's this means let me go here for a minute. If you if you dealing with somebody and you putting a stumbling block in the way, that is of the enemy because that's what the enemy do to all of us. He put stumbling block when God shows that we can move forward. He put a stumbling block there to stop us, to give us doubt about what God said, to give us doubt that we can't do it. That's what a stumbling block is. That's what I'm trying to show you too. That what we talked about all week, it all ties back to the enemy. So anytime God presents something to you, tell you, well, I want to present her to you. I want to present him to you. I want to present him to work with you in this business. I want to present y'all to do this together. And it's going to be like, you ain't nothing like her. You don't know nothing. And then he good. He'll go bring one of your friends. And they tell you, that girl or that man, hey, high class. He ain't going to deal with you for so long. You ain't good enough. I can hear someone tell you ain't good enough. She out of your league. I hear that one strongly. Some man told some other man that a certain woman was out his league. How she out his league and God said he can be with her? See, that's what I'm saying. You got to resist when they come to you like that. You got to resist the temptation. Resist it. Resist it in the name of Jesus. Let it go. Do not let the enemy tell you what you can and cannot have. When God presents to you and he come back and he give you a negative thought, everything starts with a thought. I tell you, it starts in your brain, a thought. So when he present that to you and he tells you that you can't have that, or he tells you something negative, what God tell you can't have, that is a stumbling block to keep you stuck. Now you think about it. That's why I tell you, don't let when the enemy tell you to block that person, to stop that person, you got to learn to resist that because that is not a God. He does that to keep you in a low self-esteem place. He does that to keep you in a place where you can't move, and he keeps you there because see, as long as he can keep you stuck, he know you can't move. He can keep you bounded to that woman. He can't move. That woman that just won't. Every time you turn around, her hand out. Every time you turn around, she wants some. She ain't never got nothing to give, but she always wants some. She on drugs. Cause I see it clearly. Whoever she is, she on drugs. She can't even keep a job. You support her, support her. The more you support her, the more she go out there and sleep with somebody. I don't know who that's for, but I see that. The more you give her, the more you do for her, the more she have. Some women would love to have a man like you. And she don't even appreciate you. You know why? Because she don't love herself. So you was unequally yoked with that person anyway. See, that's what God trying to say. You got to resist the temptation of those women or of those men. You got to resist that. And that's what God is saying. You have to resist that stuff. You have to go to God and say, no, I can't. I know I ain't supposed to go here. This ain't what you showing me. I ain't supposed to do this, so I can't be here. So that's how you got to look at this thing. You got to resist the temptation of the enemy. And that's basically all that I have to say today was that when it presents to you and God say you can, the enemy gonna come right in and swoop you up and tell you can't. So that means that you got to have know that you love yourself enough to know that you can have whatever God say you can have. See, he don't want you to think that you're worth nothing. He wants you to think, he wants to keep your past to justify who you are. Your past don't justify who you are. Jesus Christ justify who you are in him. If he say you can be healed, he forgive you, then don't worry about what nobody else say. If you go to that person and you need to apologize to that person and you don't apologize to that person, that's the rejection of Jesus Christ, because he asked you to do that out of love. Out of love, he asked you to do that because you're supposed to love your brothers and your sister. When you do them wrong, you're supposed to apologize. And that's what he's saying. But if you love him, like you say you do, you would not reject what he asks you to do, even that hard. You can ask him, Lord, I don't know if I can talk to them. But you keep on praying. And you keep on asking. And don't keep asking and don't make no kind of effort. You got to keep it. See, I told you, when you make one step, God make two. So, but he wants you to resist the enemy. Resist the devil. When he tell you you can go do something, you can have something, the enemy gonna swoop right on in there. You can't do that. That ain't right. So he trying to tell you that God is a liar when the enemy is nothing but a liar. He come to kill, steal, and destroy. He comes to destroy. He's sending people in your life to keep your life all in shambles so you can't move with all kind of drama. See, he's telling you today to move away from that stuff. And I keep telling you, he's telling you to move away from that stuff because he wants you to live in peace. You can't not hear God when you got a whole bunch of chaos and people around you that ain't walking with him. He's saying cut those folks loose that mean you no good in the name of Jesus. So you can have some peace and balance in your life, because you ain't gonna never have no with them people around in your circle. And that's something else too. When you be careful who you put in your circle. Now, a lot of y'all got a lot of people in y'all circle. That's why you can't hear God. Because they got you, and you might have 10 people in your circle, 20 people, 30 people. You can't hear nothing God saying. So you only hear what the people tell you to do. I'm telling you, you're not even operating under God. So that's why he's sitting back, and you don't understand why you're losing everything. You don't understand why stuff just going away from you. Because see, you operating under the spirit of the enemy. You're not operating on the spirit of God. You are operating on the spirit of the enemy. See, they telling you what to do, how to do it, because you got one in this ear, one in this ear, one in this ear, one in this ear, one in your mind. You got too many people around you. So you can't hear what God got to say anyway. So then you start to get confused and you get stagnant. You can't understand why everything falling, because you're not listening to what God's saying. Because you can't hear him. Because you got too many people in your circle. When you got too many people in your circle, you're not gonna hear what God's saying. You're gonna get confused. And what is the author of confusion? The enemy. So I'm just here to tell you today, resist the devil. Resist some of them people. Step back away. Take a step. Sometimes you take a step back, you can see clearly. You can see now that the rain is gone, you can see clearly if you just step back and be quiet. See, you can learn a lot by just being quiet. See, I'm very observant. People think I go place and gather up information. I don't have to gather up nothing like that. It just come to me. I don't even ask for it. I was in there working on my project then. I got this right here, this whole mess yesterday. But I'm just here just to say, excuse me, just to say that you can't worry about people. You gotta resist the enemy, because he come in through people. He use your best friend. He'll use your children to get you to do something you're supposed to do. That's why sometimes you have to resist your own truth. Be like, I ain't falling for that this time. Mm-mm, not this time. You got me last time. Didn't give. See, that's what I mean by resist the enemy. And then then you might have a friend and she'll come at you 30 years later because she thinks she can do you the same way. I got a problem. I need to talk to you. But she really just want to know your business. What's going on with you? Yeah, that's basically what she want to know. But he want to know. But they come into your life to derail you and to present stuff to you against what God is already telling you to do. So you gotta look at that. And you gotta learn to resist the enemy. Resist him. Resist what he gives you. If he tell you that you got 3 days to live, God got the last say so. He got last say so. They said I would never walk again. But look at me, I walk again. I might not walk fast, but I walk. So he got last say so. So you gotta trust God in all things. I had breast cancer. I could have lost both my breasts, but I have both of them. So I'm here to tell you, and I'm cancer free. So I'm here to tell you today that God is able. But you gotta trust him so he can take some of this stuff off you. But you gotta first of all start resisting the enemy when he brings something to you to do some harm to somebody. You gotta learn to resist that. You be like, you think he don't bring it to me when people do me wrong, but I resist. I'm like, no, I ain't gonna be like that because that ain't the way I'm supposed to be. And sometimes I do fall into it because then when I fall into that, I'm sick of you by then. But yeah, but I have to go back and repent and say, Lord, I'm sorry, I should have did that. But that's not he not saying you weren't gonna fall, but he don't expect for you to keep going in that place like that in the name of Jesus. So I'm just here to tell you today, trust God, resist the enemy, and resist temptation. So you can move forward in your life. And whenever God presents something to you, don't let the enemy just come in and tell you and swoop you right up and tell you can't do it. You can't. If he say you can, he gonna give you the resources to do it. He gonna give you the way to do it. So I just want to say thank y'all. I'm gonna cut it off there. Thank y'all. I love y'all. Thank y'all for liking and subscribing. Thank y'all for being, you know, who you are. Thank you for coming by the channel. I thank you with all my heart. And I just want to say I love y'all. And until next time, bye.